But how's your weekend been?
Oh, I can't complain. Can't complain. Just Greg Smith weather that I'm dealing with, you know.
Greg Smith weather. Live for another Sunday, Sunset Sunday. My name is Greg Smith and business partner over here, Kent Robinson. How you doing, man? We're just talking about a lot of different things that are going on.
Hey, everybody.
With us. Like I tell him, I'm dealing with, we've been having a heat wave in Ohio, well, in Columbus. I don't know if it's all of Ohio, probably. And our air conditioner decided to go out. How you know. Then I had, like I said, I had to do the one in the car also. But it's just one of, I don't know, it's just one of those things. So I was going to talk about, well, I still may do. What I want to talk about is what we need to be, especially like I say in the black and brown communities, and with all this stuff happening, you know, people are getting laid off now. Yeah, I remember I said once before that companies make decisions between June and July about 2021 or that year, that fiscal year coming through and all that. Well, we are seeing that now. Okay, why am I not showing up on here? We're seeing that right now in the whole scheme of things. They just said, the Delta and
United.
Yeah. Yep. They're laying off what, 3,000 or 2,500 people. I think Delta.
I've heard, to my understanding, it's more than 5,000 with United Airlines. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's more. It's around that 5,000 or 5,000 personnel mark.
Wow. Well, even so, they're laying off folks.
That number, but it's quite a substantial number.
Yeah, and we've talked about wealth building and home-based business type stuff, but what we need to understand is that most of us don't seem to grasp that. Okay, what is that? I hope that's a firework, not a gunshot. Most of us don't get that the only way that you can pass generational wealth or to have generational wealth is to have an asset. And what most people don't get, or they ask, well, what is an asset? Well, an asset is actually something that you can pass down to somebody. An asset is something that has monetary value to. Most of us, when we talking about, retirement and job and all that other stuff, you cannot pass your job to your kids, people. You can't even pass your retirement to your kids, okay? Whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. So the only real solution to all this is to start a business, and preferably a home-based business. And why a home-based business? Well, there's a lot of reasons that we've covered before. And one of the biggest things that most people had to got an extension with this year, and had an extension expired. Well, there was an extension this past week, the 15th. Okay. But there's still that extension you can get if you haven't filed for it for October, was it October 15th or something like that? I guess what it
I
is.
believe so. Yeah.
Okay. But the problem with most people don't understand taxes and why what you do as a job that you pay the most in taxes, up to 60% of your money goes to the Uncle Sam that he wastes. Self-employed people pay up to maybe, I think the last statistic was 25 to 30%. Big business people pay maybe 15 to 20, maybe. And your big investors pay nothing. And and you ask us why. Well, you got to understand something. The tax laws are set up that way. It's nothing. It had nothing to do with really what you're doing wrong. It's just the lack of financial education. I mean, even Robert Kiyosaki said, you guys got to understand something. He said, big business pay little to none. He said, you guys that work on the quadrant from the E and the S, he said, the biggest problem with you guys, well, the E, you don't have anything that you can, you're stuck because you don't own nothing, okay? You're stuck because you're making the corporate plantation wealth. All right. Your thing is that you're gonna have to either migrate down to the S, which you still pay one of the next of highest tax. That means like small business type people, your mom and pop, your pizza, but it's still better than working for somebody. What's your thoughts on that, Ken?
Yeah. As you alluded to before, working for someone else. There's no one you can't will your job to your kids, and it's not to say that they would want it, because most of them probably wouldn't, unless it's a business, your traditional business like mortician or attorney or something like that. But even then, some of the kids in the family are probably not going to want to follow in your footsteps of your business.
Right.
You can't will your job to your kids, and like you said, 401ks, you can't even will those over to your children. So the best thing, to start to build the generational wealth that home-based businesses is to establish and get your home-based business profitable, so you can transfer that wealth to your kids, or someone in your family who you'll feel will carry that business on.
Right. And I guess a lot of people probably wonder, well, what is considered a home-based business? Well, it's simple. You're working from home. You got a business that you work from home. Now, I think that term has just become a big relevant term probably in the last few years, because there's a lot of people, everybody's heard of direct sales, network marketing. They were supposed to be the home-based business type of thing, but in actuality, you was out more chasing people than you were working home, because one of the things that changed the ball game in the whole industry and everything in business was social media and the internet. Okay, contrary to what everybody wants to think, it's like now they're fighting with this administration about whether it is good for kids to do remote learning. Well, you're in a pandemic. Okay? If I had a kid, hell no, I would not send my kids to school. One, you're not going to be able to control a class with the social distancing type of stuff that they're asking you to do. No, we're in a situation where we're fighting with the medical and the scientist thing versus this crazy ass wannabe autocratic whatever administration. and their whole objective, well, you know, it kind of sounds like in the early days of some of the network marketing companies, those left-wing attitudes that you cannot build a network marketing company online. Why? Why can't you build a network marketing company online? We've proved that in the last 10, 15 years wrong. The whole attitude, well, it's not duplicatable. Well, what you do is not duplicatable either. That was my argument with them. What's duplication? What is truly duplication? Okay. So that was an argument that came about with that. Now the argument is that I just heard that, oh, some of the kids cannot learn if they don't have the personal attention. Some of your kids ain't learning no damn way. Let's be real. Some of your kids ain't that bright. Okay. Some of y'all's kids ain't that bright. So they may learn better not being somebody up in their face talking about they ain't that bright. Okay. You gotta understand, education is not predicated by so much that you always, this is misconception that everybody, they gotta have this high touch all the time. Sometimes you don't need that high touch because you're not getting nothing done anyway, because look what we've been running with scandals with teachers messing with kids. Okay. Catholic Church, you know what I'm talking about with that, okay? So maybe we need to cut back on the high touch mess and make some of these parents be more responsible for their kids and quit thinking that it's the teacher's job. Y'all need to raise your kids. And some of y'all need to get up off y'all's butt and restructure what you do. Because a lot of y'all getting more, a lot of y'all are working from home, a lot of y'all are doing this and that. And I get this people where everybody ain't working from home. Well, I ain't talking to y'all. Okay? Y'all have to figure that out. It is what it is in the situation that we are in today. You know what you need to do. If you want to change your circumstance, you need to change your circumstances. You need to figure it out. You know, it's get to a point where it gets too tired and too tough to get on and say, oh, people need to, you know, I can't do it because my company, my thing. Well, this is one of the reasons why we've been suggesting that if you are a meat packer, if you are a restaurant or worker or whatever, you need to start a home-based business. And we know the disproportionate thing that's happened between black and brown and white folks catching the COVID. It's because where you work at is where you let yourself get exposed to. And they're not giving a shit that you get exposed to. You know, there's maybe some truth in the depopulation thing, because look at the percentage of black and brown people working the service area where they are more susceptible. So what would you think if I wanted to get rid of a group of people and I knew they were more susceptible to that? Yes, I will force them to be, you know, in the situation they're on and make laws. And you got to really critically think about what's going on. You know what? I was talking to my mom. You know, they had, for you guys watching, we're in Columbus, Ohio. Yesterday, they had an anti-mask rally here. Downtown. You hear about that?
Yes.
Okay. I thought of a movie script or title of a movie. This is for all those anti-maskers people. We need to start calling them the infected. They are the infected. The whole plot of the movie called The Infected is, and I'm just saying, I ain't saying it's this thing, but the whole scenario is through these people that get affected, and some of them die, they find that this virus has jacked up their reasoning on certain things. Now think about it. Why do so many people walk around here talking about, well, I ain't wearing a mask and I ain't doing this and you can't make me and all that? Anybody in their right mind, if they know what's going on and listen, they would wear a mask. So to me, for you to say something like that, that's why I call you the infected. because something's happened. What would you think about a movie like that?
Um,
That's a scenario of a movie. You know somebody's thinking of something coming out in Hollywood.
oh, it'll be something within the next, probably I wouldn't even say, probably after maybe 6, 7 months after this,
If not now. Hell,
yeah,
books are
if,
coming out.
if not now, and if this thing ever gets eradicated, because right now I don't foresee it being eradicated, at least within the next year to 18 months. I'm no prognosticator or anything like that, but it just looks like it's gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, well, I just got a thing on my phone from Smart News said that, they've been talking about a lot about Columbus. They said if the numbers that change, it's going to be impossible for Columbus to reopen their schools here in Columbus for the fall.
Yeah, I think I saw a post on that earlier today.
So if we get back down to what we get this whole webinar discussions about, if you are in a situation knowing that, ever since March, everything in life has changed on how we work and everything else. But a lot of things had changed even before this whole pandemic had happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was a disruption in the early 2000s because of social media and the internet. It just didn't disrupt to a point where it was killing people because of we had a pandemic, but it was a disruption. So we are now in another disruption where it's affecting everything. It's affecting how we socialize. It's affecting how we do business. It's affecting everything. But it shouldn't really, if this country would have spent money on 2 infrastructure things, basically our roads and everything, but they should have spent more money on digital infrastructure. What I mean by digital infrastructure is the information highway. They should have made it available to everybody. I don't care, rural, whatever. Now we're in a situation where everybody's bitching and complaining. Well, I can't get this because I can't afford it or whatever. But that was systematically probably done to make people not do it. So if you think about what's going on and what's being said, well, I want all the schools to be open. For what? Why you want all the schools to be open? And see, they just talked about how the biggest, highest infection rates now are among your younger ones under 40, under 50.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. If you really want to depopulate a population, knowing that, you can call this conspiracy thing, whatever the hell you want. The numbers show your average person is 18 to 35 that's been affected. Maybe not asymptomatic or whatever, symptomatic or whatever. Think about it. March, you had spring break, you had all this stuff at the beaches and everything. Everybody piled up on each other. So we know that this thing latches on different hosts because they're contained in a whole lot of group people, here's something about people talking, stuff spread, people yelling, people, on the beach, doing whatever the hell they want to do. No wonder we are back at almost at the numbers we were 4 or 5 months ago. Because them people, they didn't take the precautions they should have done, knowing this. I don't think it's so much that they didn't know. So now these kids are bringing it back to their grandparents and parents and all this other stuff, and they're dying at a higher rate than them because of their age and whatever. So if I wanted to depopulate certain groups of people, knowing that they're more susceptible to, because of where they work, kids, blase, that's why I wouldn't do certain things. People, we got to think on why people say the things that they do and do the things that they do, because they have an agenda. So you got to have an agenda for yourself to help your yourself and your family, you have to think, stop, biggest problem, I'm gonna say this. I find that white folks, a lot of them have the biggest misplaced loyalty to country. And probably the reason why they have this kind of, this, to me, a misplaced, I ain't saying all, but a lot, is that
Right.
they have that privilege. They're not affected the same way. So they don't think the same things happen to them like other people. But at the end of the day, it has. And a lot of people act like they don't care because of, well, why should I have to do this? If you don't want to be around me, stay home. It's not about me being around you. What about your own kids? What about your own family? You don't think about them? I mean, it's weird how the thought process of people saying, well, that's going against my constitutional right. Man, fuck your constitutional right when it's affecting everybody. If nobody got no constitutional right if it starts affecting everybody. We might as well put our heads between our legs and kiss our ass goodbye, because if we all get it, ain't gonna be no economy, ain't gonna be no constitutional nothing. Okay? So we might as well just say, fuck it. But folks don't think in them terms because there's a lot of people, a lot of generational people are selfish. I just saw a video where this guy was trying to go, Walmart all over the country, you have to have a mask to go in their store. They were pulling this guy. He was trying to go in there with no mask. They were snatching his little ass. He's a little older guy. He would not, he refused to. He said, I don't have to have a mask. Well, yes, the fuck you do, big sign. What is it gonna take? I don't know. Or it's just like now, we're trying to get people, if you want something different, you gotta do something different. If you don't want to expose yourself to certain elements and stuff, you either take yourself out of the situation. If you know, why would you keep going to a part of town you know that there's a likely that you may get shot by a stray bullet or whatever? Or why would you go to a club that you know has a big bad element in it? And you ain't got to prove how bad you are, because bullet ain't got no name. Okay? But my point being is that if you know there's the disparity from a health standpoint, from the wealth standpoint, you either shut the fuck up about it or do something about it. There ain't no gray area that you can be dealing. You can bitch and complain all the hell you want about it. You either do something about it or you don't do something about it. But it's just like I keep saying to people about, y'all talking about we got to go vote in the presidential election and all this other stuff, okay? But that's the same thing. If you want to tell people, well, you can't complain about who gets in charge in the presidential election versus, if you don't vote, it's the same scenario if you don't do something to change your financial circumstances and learn some financial wherewithal. And it's more so the case learning more financial wherewithal. You don't have, see, the biggest problem, I think, especially older Black people, some my age too, we've been brainwashed to think that we have a say-so in the vote, because most people think, and when I'm saying the vote, I'm saying the presidential. Okay, we know there's voting. The voting of the people are all local and stuff. That's fine. But think about this. If you, yeah, they'll say, okay, we're voting so-and-so to go in the Senate. They have all these people voting, people's vote, send so-and-so to the Senate, Congress, wherever, okay, represent the people, they say. But this is where people forget. It's a different ball game when you enter the national politics. It ain't the same thing. The voting structure ain't the same thing, especially when you start talking about presidents. It ain't the same thing, okay? There's a total different structure in the presidential election versus everything else. Everything else is based off the people's vote except the presidential election, people. But we still walk around here saying we must vote Democrat or Republican, you gotta vote. Yes, I know it's the only system, but why is it that nobody wants to talk about changes the system? Even I heard, you know, Joy Reid's got a new show coming out on MSNBC.
Right.
But one thing that fries my rights about Democrats, and she made this statement that I thought this was stupid to say. She made it say, well, Trump didn't win the election because he didn't win the popular vote.
Oh, I thought we put that baby to bed.
Huh?
I thought we put that baby to bed.
But that's my point. It makes the Democrat Party sound ignorant. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean he didn't win the election? The election ain't based off the popular vote.
No.
It is based off the electoral college.
Yeah.
That's what it's based on. Why would you say something? She said, well, he didn't win the election. He didn't win the popular vote. Well, who the fuck is sitting in the White House right now?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't sure in hell ain't Hillary. And some of y'all got mad and didn't vote for Hillary because she stayed with her. I saw somebody say, I didn't vote for Hillary because she stayed with her husband after he fucked around. What they got to do with you? See what I mean? And that's when we try to tell you about you must start a home-based business and then you want to get mad and say, wow, why should I start a home? I like my job. I don't care if you like your job. That ain't the point. People always got this excuse, I like my job. Your job, you may like your job, but your job may not like you. You don't own it. You don't control anything about your job.
There you go.
Okay? You got to get to the point in your mindset and let go of that emotional falsehood that you have a say in your job. And this is what gets most people screwed because they got still this emotional attachment to the job. Men got this emotional attachment, especially black men and Latinos, because we got in our culture that if you ain't working, you ain't shit. Mm-hmm. Quote unquote, whatever work means. Mm-hmm. Those type of attachments cause a lot of problems and a lot of things because people think they got to do this because of this or this because of this. You know, well, I got bills to pay, but you struggling to pay them with that bullshit job you got. How the hell are you going to say that to somebody that I got bills to pay and you sitting there working 2 or 3 jobs? Well, obviously that first job ain't paying you no money. The second job really ain't gonna pay you no money because you only got so much time to work it.
Exactly.
You have to think in terms of 2 things, time and leverage. And both of those you want to work coincide with each other. We're not here but a blip of a time period. And especially Black and Latinos, we're not here as long. And we waste more time on bullshit arguing about, well, I gotta work. We take pride in like George Lopez was talking about, yeah, man, the Mexican, we work 2 and 3 jobs and doing it. I'm like, that. I mean, I know he's trying to be funny, but in reality, it's sad. You work yourself to a fucking early grave for somebody else, and you have pride in that shit. I don't understand that. I understand, especially in an arena that we are in now, been 20-something years. I don't know why more people, especially Black folks, ain't made that transition. Knowing you're the first to get laid off, the last to get hired. And then we want to talk about, we want to bring up the thing about education. We think it makes a difference to go get a college degree. Another situation a lot of us in, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000, $200,000 student loan debt. And then they put this on you because you can't pay it. They want to stipulate, well, we can't hire because you got the student loan debt. So this fucking catch-22 they try to put you in. Another scenario, another trap, another slave entity. the only way you're going to get out of that stuff is control your own time, money, and income through some kind of home-based business. There's plenty of things you could do with creative, okay? We got resources, me and Kent, that we could direct you to. But none of y'all seem to like you want to DM us or I don't know, you know, because I'm not, this is the thing. I'm not going to put information out on the chat or on this webinar. You want to know more information about what we got, you're going to have to instant message us, email, or whatever. If you truly want to get out of your situation. You know, like I always say at the end of these Sunset Sundays, this is a talking point from Les Brown. He said 95% of y'all hate your jobs, and your health issues is basically surrounded by your job. Boris Watkins said he knew this guy. Straight up story I heard from him a few times. He said this guy hated his job so bad. He said it basically sucked the testosterone out of him. His doctor did some kind of, I guess they got some way to check your T cell, testosterone levels and stuff. He barely had any. The testosterone determines your gender, female, male, from estrogen to testosterone, all that stuff. He couldn't perform for his wife sexually. That's how bad his job was affecting him physically. And it was probably more mentally, because what happens to you a lot mentally can affect you physically. But still, it was his reality. Is that type of shit worth it? Then you're caught up in that shit, saying that you can't perform for your wife, you may have a job, then she go find somebody who can. So you get caught up in a scenario that snowballs and snowballs and snowballs till you can't get out of it. And that's why amongst us, the suicide rate has gone up, people. I hear all this shit that black people don't commit suicide. Bullshit. Black people blow their fucking heads off just like anything else. Okay? Let's cut this shit about what white people and black people don't do. We live in the same fucking ass society. A lot of us dealing with the same shit, maybe more so. It's a more wonder that we don't blow our brains out more than white folks because of the shit we had to deal with. Now, on top of this shit that we got to deal with, and then you want to argue with us about whether a home-based business is vital. What else is out there, people? There is not much out there that you could do. You cannot pass none of this shit that you're doing, what you working with the corporate structure, to your kids. If you're, and I hear this one thing, well, I heard a woman or a man or somebody say, well, I got mine, he or she got to get hers. If you're telling your kids that kind of crap, to me, you ain't worth a shit as a parent. Them motherfuckers didn't ask to come here. And if you're telling your kids, well, I got mine, they got to get yours. Well, they might go get theirs in a way you may not like. You told them, hey, you got yours, they got to get theirs. You didn't say how, and you ain't got nothing for them to go to. So what do you expect? All you have left for them out here is the underworld. Let's keep it real, people. See, I'm here to keep it real. No bullshit, no conjecture, all that shit. And we need to understand that, especially in our communities, we got to stop. I just listened to another Claude Anderson thing. He said, and I've made this mention before. He said, black people are going to be looked at, black communities are going to be, well, what he said, there's going to be a food and water shortage because of this pandemic, okay? And the people that are going to really suffer the most are going to be black folks. Why? He said, because economically, you don't own nothing. You're the weakest link of the chain of ethnicity and people in this country, probably the world, because you don't own any assets, basically. You don't control any wealth. Okay? All those type of things look at it like this. We're in the, you know, you ever heard the term, the survival of the fittest? That's what's going to turn into.
Sure.
Okay. Black folks are too much looking for some savior to come swooping out of the sky. I keep seeing this shit all the time to save them. 61 years, not one damn time I see no savior. If a savior is gonna come, why hasn't he come now? Black people been going through shit for 400 and something years plus years. Ain't no savior come to save y'all black ass now, then, or your brown ass has. So what would you think now? Well, why are you waiting for a savior to come swoop you up, or the rapture? What if this is a rapture? Because a lot of black people are getting wrapped up with this COVID. Okay,
Yeah.
you hear them? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They getting raptured. They getting raptured up. They get wrapped up and put in a damn early grave.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be what you think it is. And my grandma always said, my grandmother always told me, people, God, or whoever you believe, God, universe, help those who help themselves. If you ain't willing to start helping yourself, ain't nothing gonna change. The laws of reciprocity don't work by you sitting down and always praying for something to happen and you don't do it. And then you expect why shit didn't happen because you didn't take the initiative. Me and Kent, we can open the doors to a lot of things for you. But if you don't take the initiative or take the action to do it, it don't mean shit. All the information we give you, all the stuff we can give you, if you're not willing to do that, it doesn't matter. Okay, we can teach you how to match your income today, but if you're not gonna do it, you gotta see. I'm the type of person. I'm not gonna just give you something. I want to teach you how to fish. I'm not gonna give you the fish. You want to learn how to fish, you're gonna have to come to me with it. It's like I said, if hand holding was such a great method of training, how come there's still 85 to 95% of y'all still struggling, people? Because you don't have no skill sets. You got old, outdated mental skill sets that have no value in the 21st century economy. What's your thoughts about all this, Kent, that I've been saying?
You know, it's just one of those things. It's a mindset, and you had alluded to that earlier. I think most people who say they like their job, probably out of the 10 people who say they like their jobs, probably 2 people actually really like their jobs out of the 10 folks, you know. And I think, like you said, most folks, they feel, and I'm paraphrasing a quote here. A man is what a man does. And if people have that emotional attachment, well, if I'm not doing anything, you know, what's my worth? So they feel if they have that job, or if they feel like they have that job, well, hey, I'm this, I'm doing this. No, that's what you do for 8 hours. That's not you. That's what you do for 8 hours.
That's what you do. You building somebody else's asset.
Right.
We're talking about building your own asset. We're not, hey, we didn't say that you just have a website and sit about there and talk. We work. I have a daily method of operation, or weekly or daily, what I do to build my business. Okay? Weekly. I have things. I build assets all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We've just finishing up a prospecting, recruiting type of 5-day challenge change has been promoting on there.
Right.
And it was $1. Some of y'all won't even spend $1 to get to learn something like that. So it's not about whether you think that you got to be doing something. If you think what we talk about is just sitting back on your ass and not, no, we work. I work. Okay. Right. Tomorrow I'll be spending the time editing this video and putting it up on my YouTube channel. It takes work. It takes time. And I'll be setting up stuff for the week coming up and stuff that I got to do for next Sunday show. So It is work, people. Running a business is work. It's not a job. I don't work probably like you guys do, but I work. Sometimes when you home sleeping, I'm working. I'm doing something. But I'm willing to do a lot of things that now that you ain't willing to do, which I'm gonna be able to do some things you're not gonna be able to do later on because you're not willing to switch some gears and switch your mindset to another way. You say, you know, and the reason why I say this is because I've be reiterating on this all the time. I have always said that I got into business actually to have a lifestyle. Job does not give you a lifestyle, people. Somebody giving you, no, they don't even give you. You have to earn 2 weeks of vacation, and you got to work there almost 6 months to a year, and that's all they're gonna give you. Europe got it different. I got a friend that lives in Europe right now. Well, when she was working for the UN, what she get? She automatically got at least 8 weeks, automatically. They rolled over. 8 weeks of vacation. These son of bitches in this government, in this country, telling you you gotta earn the 2 fucking weeks they want to give you. You gotta earn it. They just don't give it to you. You gotta earn it. And you call by you don't want to leave the job. I'm sorry, but that you either gotta be a special kind of stupid, or you just be a special kind of stupid to even agree with that. When they say when you know better, you do better. Some of y'all don't know better, and then some of y'all don't want to know better, and I don't understand why. And black folks should be running to home-based industry. Black and brown people should be running. More brown Latinos are running into the home-based business industry than black folks, and black folks should be trying to knock down the doors to that. Even if you work at a job, you should be knocking down the door. Our email, our phone bill should be ringing about how do I get involved. Hell, a lot of y'all wouldn't even register in this webinar because I'm running it on Facebook. Granted, I screwed up something on the welcome page on that, but still. Okay, still. There ain't no football on. There ain't no real basketball or baseball on. Was that supposed to start up this week or sometime?
Yeah, something like that.
6-8 weeks, all sports got cut because it's COVID. Mm-hmm. So what y'all doing? You wait for sports to come. I hear some people, well, which sports will come back on? They ain't coming back really. Half of all sports seasons are going and they're running into other things.
Right.
They may not be no college football, people.
Yeah. Yeah. I still say that's a possibility it won't be in college football.
The Ivy League season is done for the fall. They're not doing it. They already mentioned it. All the Ivy League schools and stuff, volleyball, soccer, all that shit's been stopped. Okay? The 2021 New Year's Rose Bowl has been canceled.
Oh, well,
already.
You just educated me. I
just saw that this week.
First time I've heard that. It doesn't surprise me though.
Huh?
Doesn't surprise me at all.
The granddaddy of all those type of things. So let's keep it real, people. We might as well cancel Christmas. You know, everybody talking about, cancel Christmas. Yeah, holidays are really in that aspect, which you probably like to do with all the Christmas party shit.
Oh yeah,
that's done. That shit done for this year. 2020 is totally fucked. Christmas parties, New Year's Eve parties, all that shit done. Mm-hmm. All that done. So with you knowing all this shit done, what is the best thing to do? Why don't you learn to educate yourself about business, money?
This is and I've always thought it was a good time when things like this happen. But this, you never want something of this magnitude to happen like that. But this is the perfect time, folks. This is the perfect time.
Yeah,
to
it's
to
not going to change no time soon.
no, to learn some new skill sets, to like I said, Greg and I, we have the tools to to help to direct you to learn some new skill sets, learn some new business acumen to get your business marketable, and just maybe, and like Greg said, it's not about the income, but yeah, folks in this industry have made some dollars, but it's really about life. It's really about lifestyle. So you can leave your job and have the financial wherewithal not to look back if that's what you want to do.
Well, you know, lifestyle still correlates with income. Let's keep it real. You got to
Well,
have money to do shit.
You gotta have some type of paper. Of
Even though you guys that got jobs, unless you own or a CEO or something, y'all got those CEOs sometimes are strapped time wise. See,
right.
when we talk about home-based business type stuff, we're talking about where it allows you back your time and your money to spend more time, to have money, to spend it with family that can do that with you, or friends that are in a situation to do that with you, or just to spend time with your family, period. Or bring your spouse from her job that she probably can't stand, or he can't stand. Whatever the situation may be, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about, you know, it's not so much that you have, we're not talking about that we expect you to come out here and be a millionaire. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
The potential, let's listen to what I'm saying, folks. This is where people get it all twisted. The potential of millions to be made is there. We're talking about covering what you're making now, get you out of that JOB. Now, if you decide to take it further and scale it to another level of millions, we can show you how to do that. But you got to be willing to meet us halfway on that stuff. You know, DM me, you know, hit me up on Instant Messenger, all this kind of stuff. That's the only way you're going to get more information of what we got to offer. Because I'm just not willing to, I'm not going to put this stuff in here. The whole purpose of these Sunset Sundays are to give you insight information, but you want more in-depth information, you have to meet us halfway. This is not about to spam you out information out on our pages and everything. That's not how we do business. We don't have to do that. I just got another person subscribed to my YouTube channel the other day. Well, a third person, I think. I don't know. I got already systems set up where if I don't want to work all next week, I don't have to. Okay. I got systems set up. This is what we're talking about. But I do things like this to help educate the public, the certain aspects of what's going on, why you need this. It's because you don't own. It's ownership, people. The easiest thing now, most of you got one of these things, okay? These things could be worth millions of dollars if you know how to treat it. Mobile technology can set you free from your job. You just got how to know how to use them. Doesn't matter whether you got iPhone or Android phone. These are mini computers, okay? And to understand that the biggest commodity today is information. But information does you no good unless you implement the information that you get. And that's the biggest problem. A lot of people are overloaded with information, but they don't want to connect with somebody to help them get more, or how to do something. We got courses, we got tools, we got all types of stuff to help you do stuff. But you gotta you have to be willing to invest in yourself. We're not going to be there. We're only there for people who are willing to invest in themselves. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, we can't help you. There's nothing we can do. In fact, I'm putting it, there's nothing nobody can do unless you are willing to help yourself. I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. My grandmother's been gone 17, 18 years now. God helps those who help themselves. All you Bible bouncers out here preaching about waiting for the rapture. I don't know why you waiting for that. A lot of y'all ain't done shit. You think getting to heaven's free, don't y'all? Y'all really do. A lot of y'all, I know, y'all think all of this is about believing in the word and that's what's gonna get you into heaven. If that was the case, why is it that y'all always talk about being in heaven and then y'all at a way station called purgatory first? Then all y'all talking about, y'all believe the word and all this other stuff, then you gotta be judged. If all it takes for you to just believe, what is the necessity of purgatory and being judged if all it takes is you believing? Ain't that contradictory to what you've been taught, to what's been said? If that's all that is needed, what's the need of all that other stuff? We don't talk, see, religion, there's a difference between religion and spirituality. There's no connection. Religion is manipulated through man's desire for his own objective. Spirituality is a connection with the universe, or for whatever you believe. You guys try to connect spirituality and religion, and they have nothing to do with the two. Religion is something man-made, like I said, for the agenda of man. Even the Quran, okay? Those are all translation of what we say, the Bible and all that stuff. But you gotta understand something. If you want anything to happen, it's still about you. If all it took was to sit on your ass and things would happen, don't you think I'd do that shit? Okay? If it was that damn easy, people, I don't know. I just think sometimes that's what people think, and they don't do much. They think God will make a way. No, he's not. He's not gonna make a way. He only makes a way for people who can't do shit. Half of y'all need to get up off y'all's fat ass and go do something. He only makes a way when you get up to make a way. He just in it, you know. You got to do it, people. I remember the story. I told you the story once before, Kent. Mutual friend of ours talked about, we was at a Tuesday meeting up north.
Okay.
He brought this, I call her a Bible bouncer.
Mm-hmm.
Told her his marketing plan. And then when we was in the hallway, you know how everybody goes out in the hallway, trying to discuss all the bullshit and all that. I told, what's his name? I said, well, first he asked her, well, what was her impression about the presentation and all that? He said, well, you know, I have to go home and pray on it. You got to go home and pray on it. To who? Pray about what? I got to go home and pray on it. Once you pray on it now, maybe they give you the answer, then we can move forward. She got to go home and pray on it. She can pray on it or ask right here. She got to go home to pray on it. She didn't even say go to church. She said, I got to go home and pray on it. That's where I knew she was full of shit. And I told her, I said, she ain't doing shit. She full of shit. Only thing she gonna go home and let out some of that shit. Pray on my ass. That's about all she's gonna do. I like, you gotta cut people sometime to the quick with their mess. That's all she was gonna do. People give you so many bullshit excuses why they can't or won't do something. Right. And you hear it and they don't make no sense. She gotta go home and pray on it. I told him she ain't gonna do nothing. Sure enough, she ain't do nothing. He ain't never heard from her no more.
I was gonna say, probably hadn't seen her since.
You got people do that all the damn time.
That's true. That's true.
Talk about, oh, I want this, but I got to get an answer from the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think the Lord didn't give you the answer because you right here?
Exactly.
What makes you think that answer ain't there right here? But you got to go and ask him again. He may get tired of using you damn fool. You got your answer right there. I gave you information to go to that presentation. But see, things, people get caught up in things ain't wrapped up in a damn package that they used to or what they taught that was supposed to be wrapped up in. Woo! And basically, our folks put you in the ground faster than anybody else. They stupidness. I'm sorry. And you're the hardest damn people. And you shouldn't be the hardest people to understand it. And it shouldn't be about the convincing. All this shit black folks have been through. And then you want to still question even the people that showing you this shit?
Right. Right.
Yeah, they did a job. They did a fucking job on you. If that mindset has got you that fucked up, then damn. There's not much nobody can do. And if you're like I keep saying, if you think God's just gonna come down here, come on, son. Why ain't happen? It amazes me the thought process of people. People don't see what's going on until it's too late. As you always said, Ken, dig your well before you get thirsty.
Yes. Yes.
People want to dig their well when it's dry out, when it's too late. See, it's almost like folks can't do nothing until they always cracked upside their head. I don't get that.
Right. When they know a drop of water will almost kill them. They that thirsty.
When you tell them, well, Mr. So-and-so, we're letting you go in 30 days. So you're gonna have to find out, make some arrangements of what you're gonna do after we go. After your 30 days, your job's done here. And there's probably some people that are watching this presentation right now or in that same situation, and we're giving them some to come with us to help. We'll help you with some things, and they still won't do it, and they know they're in that situation. 30 days from now, tell them you're done here, and they're not gonna do nothing. I don't know if that is that. I can't even say that's a self-esteem problem. Even a self-esteem problem, people would either say, well, hell, I need to do this. There's nothing I can put in the words to say what kind of issue that would be. They were talking about cognitive dissonance the other day about people. Where cognitive dissonance is where a lot of people suffer from, especially us.
And I think too, even in this pandemic era, although it's changing the narrative of a lot of people right before our eyes. But some people are still stuck on this status thing. Some people are still stuck.
Shit, if you dead, yeah, I know. You know what? I'm gonna say this too. I find that people, especially the black community here in Columbus, Ohio, have the biggest status disease that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
all the money.
You just touched on something because and I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but when you hit the nail right on the head, because when with the George Floyd situation and everything, people started protesting. And then I started seeing this stuff on the, they say, somebody, hey kid, you at the protest? I'm like, no, I did all that stuff in my in my late teens and early 20s. He's like, man, they protesting. I'm like, no, Columbus folks don't protest. They said, turn on your TV. And I was like, oh, they are. Because Columbus folks never protest. I mean, if it's on college campuses or something, that's different. But folks out here in the city, I was, yeah, I have to say,
No.
I was very surprised.
What's
Because Columbus folks don't do that.
What's the recent folks of John Lewis, the death of John Lewis over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. See, that goes back to this thing that I always talk about. Even I watched, I may bring this, I watched the, I don't know if I said that, I watched the video, Nick Cannon's. Now there's two versions of Nick Cannon's video. There was like a 25-minute, then there's an hour or so.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, the big thing about him being fired from Viacom and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the entertainment industry, them guys are still part of that plantation thing. Okay?
Oh, of course.
With the contract and all that other stuff. They made a big deal. Now, if you watch, and that's on my blog, my recent blog, it's called Cancel, what's it called? Cancel Culture. What does anti-Semitic really mean? Or what does what's the verbiage of anti-Semitic or something like that is the name of the blog. Check it out on there. But it has a link to it has a video, it has a link to the other one. Looking at both of those videos, there was nothing that was directly said derogatory about the Jewish community. He made points from studies that he learned about the history of the Hebrew people and everything. So the one thing I think they got mad at was because he made a reference saying that his information said that Black people were the true Hebrews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now there's always going to be the first whatever type of people. And then there's always these descendants of those. I got into a conversation with some chick online that I've been following me forever. And I had to let it go because I said, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I really didn't even ask her, did she look at the video? She probably didn't really look at the video because she had no damn really things to base her thing on. Or she kept saying that, well, he denied my people their existence. I said, that's not what he said. He just said the Black people are the true Hebrews. Now, in that region, if you look at all that part of that region, they were used to be all connected to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said to her, then you're saying that, see, it's like so many of y'all, and I made this comment a lot of times before. I said, the biggest problem, if you look at constitutions, or it's a part of I gotta look at it. It's on Dr. Claude Anderson's book of Powernomics, 175. It talks about how most foreigners that come in, it don't matter where they look like, basically who they are, whatever, they label them as Black. I mean, they label them as white. Okay, no matter. I'm talking about whoever, even some parts of the Asian people, they are trying to label them as white. Okay. The only group of people that they did not label as white were Black folks. That was systematically done to keep them at the lower end of the economic totem pole. They didn't want Black people to have the benefits of white dominant society. So that's what they did. They made them stand out as other versus everybody else. Italians, Jewish people, whatever, they label all of them as white. And I asked some people that I know that come from like Iran and all, you know, them motherfuckers ain't white.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come over here with their damn passports and things and stuff, what is on there? White. A woman I knew I dated from Panama. I said, when you came over to this country, you Latino, you Panamanian. You can see the indigenous, tribal, Indian in your face. That ain't white. That ain't Anglo-Saxon.
Mm-hmm.
She married an Air Force guy. So when she came here to got her residency or whatever, they labeled her as white.
Mm. Mm.
So this is why when you pass down that kind of stuff to folks, and when you bring out the light to them on what's really going on,
Right.
which Nick Cannon did, it upset the whole apple cart. So they used that as being an anti-Semitic statement, and that wasn't an anti-Semitic. He just said, he just said, no, the conversation was going, and he said, well, that shows me that then the black people were the true Hebrews. When he was talking to this other doctor, something, whatever, you know, it was an ongoing conversation that led to that statement. So everybody ran with it, even from The View. I was just surprised, like people like Whoopi Goldberg and all that supposed to be. See, this is what happens when you get caught up in that corporate bullshit because you like their money that they throw at you. It's fiat money. Who gives a fuck? We ain't gonna be using that kind of currency no more pretty soon any damn way. So, you know, their whole thing when that came out was about why I'm surprised that Kanye West made an anti-Semitic statement. What was anti-Semitic? Because of what he said about his studies? I don't understand that shit.
Well, even and this was way back in the day. I know you didn't get in a whole lot of rap, but it's one conscious rap group, Boogie Down Productions, even talked about Black Israelites.
Well, yeah.
And Moses spending 40 years in Pharaoh's place. So, and it was, I forget how the verse goes, but it was like these Arab Black Egyptians were, right? They enslaved Black Israelites. And, you know, the verse just went on. And I should have queued up. If I knew the song, I would have queued it up with that exact verse. But yeah, and I guess because he was a rap group, it wasn't controversial. But that was true because that's the region where the Black Israelites were in that particular part of the Middle East.
Well, this guy, I guess, was part of NWA at the time. You're talking about back in the 80s, late 80s.
Yeah.
He was talking about, he said the group was only supposed to be, their whole thing was to make some money in the rap game and get out.
Okay.
That was their whole objective. Wasn't to be any long-term thing, make some money, get out, do what they needed to do. But he was talking about all this stuff, what went down, you know, and then like even Clark and even Dr. Boyce Watkins talked about how there's a book has called How the Jews Built Hollywood. It's not no surprise.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah.
Who else? Mayer.
Warner Brothers.
Louis Mayer.
Yeah, all that. I mean, even though what happened was a lot of people don't understand this, Hollywood originally started in New York.
Yes.
Okay. That community, because of what happened, they said, fuck it, they got, discriminated being in New York, coming over in New York in the villages and stuff. They said, we're going to take our shit out west and start a whole thing. We ain't going to be bothered with all this other stuff. So that's what they did. I mean, that I don't blame them. I would do the same thing then. That's not talking about, that wouldn't be no anti-Semitic, but we all know the whole Hollywood game is ran by Jewish community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, film industry is finance, all that stuff. But then, you know, I guess maybe called, and most people don't know about the Rothschild families.
True, true.
They're a banking family. They were from Jewish descent. They were Jewish in something. I don't know if they're Jewish in something else, but
Yeah, I don't. If they're Austrian Jewish or German,
I don't know. I don't remember. I have to get the book. This is why I always was promoting that book from Robert Kiyosaki, Conspiracy to Rich, the eight new ways of money. And if you noticed, I don't know if you noticed, in the network marketing community, nobody promoted that book. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
When we were at a meeting, the cat that worked at Payless,
Oh yeah.
I brought the book to a meeting. I said, why you guys are always promoting Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is a good book.
Mm-hmm.
All these other books. I brought 2 books. I said, there's a book that he written that you guys need to understand.
Yeah, I remember you doing that.
I brought Conspiracy to Rich, and I brought Unfair Advantage. He breaks down more about that. He said, I never heard of these books.
No.
Yeah, that's my problem. If you're gonna be a true business owner, you got to be a student of learning too. A lot of people, they come in like home-based business, network marketing. They bring, let me put it this way, they bring the slave compliant mentality into the business.
Yeah.
And this is why you got all these structures. If you really look at the network marketing structure, and people probably gonna get mad at me about that. I'm not down in network marketing. If you understand how the structure of network marketing works, you can circumvent it. But most people are so much followers that they don't understand that they could do more. And the people that do more in that industry break that mold. If you ever sit there and notice the people that made the big money, they break that mold. Even though they seem to market and appear that the money that they make was strictly from the network marketing industry, and we know the ratio to commission the product is too hard to do it because it's too low. Even at a big team, it's still too low. Okay? Them guys are true business owners because they invest in other things. Remember, that's the thing that happened with Don Storms. Don Storms gotten into some shit. Personally, I think he was fucking set up. Rest his soul.
Possibly.
I think I'm saying I think he was set up just because of the way the shit happened. Because if you remember, Don Storms, right between all that shit happened, Don Storms went from Triple Diamond at an event. I don't know, maybe you weren't at the event. He went from Triple Diamond to Crown.
No, I don't think I was.
Dexter Yeager, they were on stage. I remember this so vividly. Dexter Yeager said, well, you know what? You have gone from Triple to Crown. We got to present this. You are now really a Crown ambassador. So he went from Triple, skipped all the way, went to the highest level, Crown ambassador. Okay? As soon as all that shit happened, all this other stuff started coming out. Then he discovered his wife had breast cancer. All that shit that happened all at once. That's why I said life knows how to stick it in and turn it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then some people know how to push it forward that way. That's why I think he was not any good after that shit happened. Then when his wife died, and he died a couple of years ago.
Right.
So I just, you gotta be, I guess you really gotta no matter what it is, you really gotta watch who you do business with. You know, the network marketing industry ain't nothing but dealing with people, and we know how people are. Can be totally assholes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You know, everybody wants to may think that all these people are so right-wing Christian bullshit. They sometimes the most devious motherfuckers on earth. Okay, just like I said, even when I was going, you know, school, my mother was talking about all these kids going to this damn Myrtle Beach and stuff. You know, spring break, and I knew about spring break a long time ago, just from people I knew from OU and all that. I was at spring break. I wouldn't have gone down there with all them damn heberos, no way. They do get down there, get drunk, act like they ain't been nowhere. Half of them come from all these southern Ohio, Indiana towns, ain't been nowhere. They go down to spring break and act butt fucking wild.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen, you know, that's like when I was little, my dad used to give me a friend of mine, Tony Roseboro. Parents used to have a New Year's Eve party.
Mm-hmm.
He drank, I'm talking about, we were like maybe 12, 13, maybe 14, I don't know. My dad would make us gin and tonic. We had gin and tonic there, but he did it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
By the time, I don't know Tony, but by the time I reached legal age to go get a drink or whatever, it wasn't a big deal to me.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I go out and see kids get butts fucking stank drunk
Mm-hmm.
because they've never, you know, their parents kept it from them. So when they got to go out, they just went totally stupid wild.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't no big deal for me to have a drink somewhere. I had been doing it. So I was 13, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, you know, maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. To keep, you know, when you keep people from something and then they get a chance, they just go butt fucking wild, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, you get all these kids going on a spring break through the winter, you know, they go from, they got getting that sun.
Oh, yeah.
So makes you wonder now, we're 5 months out to the new year, we're, what, 4 months before Christmas? Let's see, August, September, October, November, December, 5 months before Christmas in that season. 4 months before Thanksgiving, say 100 days before the election. I bet you, folks, listen to this, people. We're talking about home-based business. That's what we're talking about. This year will be the biggest time, the most advantageous time for you to get into e-commerce type home-based business or whatever. For the simple fact, more and more people, you hear me? If the numbers with this COVID keep going like this and they're not seeing them changing them really, because a lot of y'all ain't gonna wear no mask and they're gonna end up shutting some things down. You would have the biggest opportunity to have a business that will provide online to customers around the world. We have the tools that help you market, whatever that may be that you want to market. Because you got to learn how to market, people. Can't do no prospecting because that ain't happening. Prospecting is a physical act of chasing people around in coffee shops and that. Those bad boys are gonna get closed down again. Some are already closed.
Yeah, and I think at least here in Ohio, that speech, a lot of folks were saying, well, the governor was saying a lot of nothing. I perceived it differently. I said that was his warning shot.
Yeah, because I just saw.
That was his warning shot across. That was his shot across, in my opinion. That was his shot across the bow. You know.
I saw on his post a post of him talking about further information will be shared this week.
Okay.
So you know Ohio has spiked back up, and that started down southern and southwestern Ohio, Cincinnati, Dayton. Now it's come back up this way.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably looking at this shirt that I got on. This is a marketing training system we belong to called My Lead System Pro, short MLSP. Okay. This is where we learn a lot of stuff we learning. But like I said, I give you that snibble. If you want to know more about MLSP, you got to let us know. You only get this when you at a leadership level, type 2. They sent this to me.
Yeah, I remember you saying that a while back. I remember you saying that.
I didn't even know. I sent this to me, asked me what size. Hell, I really should have got an extra large. This is really small. It says an extra large, but I should have got an extra large. My shoulders. So, people, if you want to know, if you want more information about anything, whoever you connect with, me or Ken, email, direct message, whatever.
Yes, indeed.
Because it's about that time. It's about that witching hour. It's 10 after 10. Hope you got value for what we're saying. Oh, we got a special guest coming on next week, you telling me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And well, I'll give you more information after our broadcast.
Okay.
But for anybody else who's interested, yeah. Okay. Same time, same place. But yes,
we'll have a channel.
Yeah, we'll have a very special
back channel. No.
Okay, he's going there. But yes, we're gonna have a very special guest next week. So
yeah, we do that once in a while when we can get people to come on who are brave enough to come on, and we don't bite. Come on, and you can't do nothing there. Everybody's in their own home. We use Zoom, leverage technology, so there ain't nothing like we can grab somebody. So what?
Yeah, because Greg, for all his bluster, he really can't fight.
What? I didn't hear what you. What was that?
I said for Greg, for all his bluster, he really can't fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can't. Nah, I can't. You're right. So, but like I said, everybody, with this technology, everybody's in their comfort of their home. So ain't nothing new.
Right.
It's this video conferencing tool.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, hey, even women, how long has Zoom been around?
Yeah, how long has Zoom been around? What, 3-4 years?
Something like that. I remember Zane Pilsner talked about all these daggone, there's a book that I got called The Next Millionaire, Paul Zane Pilsner. And he said that, from 2010 to now was going to be a big transition of wealth because there was going to be a lot of innovations of technology things that are going to be geared towards a home-based business person. This is one of them. Okay? Zoom technology, there's a whole lot. I use another one called StreamYard that lets you actually stream multiple social media platforms. I wish Zoom, I'm surprised Zoom doesn't let you do that. What's up? I'm gonna have to speak to somebody and say, hey, Zoom, y'all need to get on the ball. There's other social media platforms.
I bet you they're thinking about it now, though.
Yeah, it makes no sense because if what I would do with this thing, I would stream to Facebook and in my YouTube channel at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. With all these social media platforms, why not? It doesn't make any sense not to. That's are you gonna keep up with the competition? I don't know why they came out and didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They got YouTube, but you can't multiple stream to them. And we're talking about, you know, I'm always been a big advocate about leveraging because it saved me time. If I had that to do, stream multiple on what I'm doing now, it would cut a lot of my time on getting this video up on YouTube because it'd be already there. And all I would have to do, well, I could edit it on there, but all I have to do is make the thumbnail on it and be gone with it. But, you know, it doesn't allow you to do that. So, I don't know. But, you know, it's, what's the guest name? Oh, you say you give it. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. I'll give it to you.
So you got anything, last words to say, Kent, before we wrap this up?
Ladies and gentlemen, as Greg and I alluded to before, you know, you want to have your home-based business to build and sustain generational wealth. Nothing wrong with doing that. You can't. Your job is something that you don't own. You are expendable. You know this. If you're not performing to their standards, hey, you're gonna go whether you think it's your job or not. That you cannot will your job to your kids, and as I stated before, they may not even want the job if you could will it to them. So,
and you can't
home-based
give away
business
your
building
pension.
generational. Say again.
You can't give away your pension to your kids.
Right, you can't give away you can't pass down your 401k
Right.
either.
Or you know, and that's what we're talking about. You can't give that stuff away. We've basically, even with when you have a home-based business, the money that you will come have, that automatically gets willed mostly to your kids or your descendants, whoever you want them to go to. They ain't got nothing to say that because that's something you built. And so talking about generational wealth, this is why the Rockefellers and Carnegies and the Rothschilds or whoever, they got dynasties because they have generational wealth. They didn't work a job. They were busy. They weren't busy looking for a job. They were busy looking for assets, commodities that they could set up to give to their kids. This is why those families have that kind of what they call old money. Old money's good money. Okay? And without that, makes no sense that your great-great-grandchildren, hell, that's how the food that's in the White House, even though he squandered a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of stuff has been handed down to him because of what his grandparents and stuff and father, whatever, did 30, 40 years ago. That's how wealth is built, people. Wealth is not built by going to a 9-to-5. And bad to say, there's a lot of y'all want to say, why do people like us always talk about money? Because there's people like you always complaining about money. You're always complaining that somebody's not paying taxes or you're not getting paid. You always say, well, how come we're not giving a livable wage? $15 an hour right now is behind the 8-ball. Contrary to what they want to tell you now, $15 an hour with going up, it will not be a living wage. For you to have a living wage to sustain the economic stuff that's going on, y'all should be making $30, $40 an hour.
Really should.
Okay. What I charge for our stuff as coaching is $150 an hour. What I charge for doing any graphic design stuff is $35 an hour. I tell people that want to hire me, it's $35 an hour. Take it or leave it. You got to know your worth, people. You can't be afraid to tell people, this is my worth. If you want to pay it this way, I got a website, you can see what I do. Now, if you don't want to pay it, that's fine. But that's what it costs you. You gotta know your worth, people. Some of y'all devalue your time because you think, well, they're not gonna pay me that. Well, somebody will. Somebody, you don't hang around people that devalue your time or your wealth. I don't give a fuck who they are. Okay? You just let them know. This is what I call charge. This is what I need. So, you know. Any more things you got to say, Kent, before we wrap this up?
If you got value from this video, a very informative video, share it out. Like Greg and I said, we got the tools to help you learn the skill sets, to help you to step up your marketing game. And in this pandemic, yeah, it's all about marketing now. So DM us, email us. You know, if for those of us who know us personally, you want to call, give either one of us a call.
Yeah. Because I do like this. I don't chase people on the internet, even though that we've had a prospecting for profit type deal thing. That's just not me. I haven't chased nobody online, I don't know, for a long time. People come to me. We teach a concept called attraction marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It's being the hunted, not the hunter. There's a different conversation when people want to connect with you. Now, when people want to connect with you, you can say yes or no. Because they're in your ballgame. They came to you. You didn't go to them. I know a lot of people might think that sounds arrogant. It's not arrogant. It's just that the conversation is different when people come to you about certain things. You know, granted, I got people that come to me, then they come to me or they want to connect me online or Facebook, then the only reason why they want to do it is to sell their shit. I had to let them know. Where on my profile, on any of my profiles, be it Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, suggested to you that I was interested in what you had to sell. Because you're going to have people that do that.
Yeah.
They only connect with you because they can want to sell you their shit. You just got to let them know I ain't interested. I'm not interested in a lot of other people's shit right now. And especially, and it's not that in my interest, the way people approach you. There's something else we teach on how to market, not prospect.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what a lot of people on prospect. I mean, there's a way of prospecting online. I just don't have that kind of personality. I'm not one of the people who's gonna chase somebody online and do small talk like that. This is not my personality. I mean, I can say, you know, if I see something that people will say, I might say something and then I'm out. Now somebody else come with me and I may, you know, but I'm just not, you know, I'm not one of them same kind of people. I don't even do that in person that much. Unless I have a relationship that I know you well enough.
Right.
Other than that, people, strangers like that, fuck that. I ain't. Really. So, you know, you got to find your way. But I'm just telling you, it's a different conversation when people are chasing you. And I got people who always connecting with me right now. It's because of what I set in place. Okay. It doesn't matter how they, you know, yeah, you're going to get those people. I got a few people that are constantly engaging on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram channel, and Twitter consistently, especially with my blog. Okay. If you want to get, another way you want to get more information from me, you can get on my newsletter at GregorySmith.online. If you would have registered through this platform, I have a capture page out here. People got a problem with capture. Capture pages are good to give you value. I give you something back for the value you give me. The value I give you is something, your email thing. You always unsubscribe. The reason why we run, this is one thing. I try to hit both a lot of the platforms to widen my spread out or spread out on social media. Sometimes when I ask people to register through the Zoom platform, sometimes Facebook and Zoom don't want to act right. So then you can't get on it just watching on Facebook. You got to be in the Zoom room. And that's why I ask people to actually register on Zoom in case Facebook, hey, I thought I wasn't going to get on Facebook tonight. It was acting stupid, and Facebook don't always connect with you. So that's why I ask people when we do this to register through the Zoom thing, because you'll get locked out. I don't know. I don't control Facebook. Facebook can be funny. They change their algorithms all the time. Mm-hmm. And just like I found out tonight, I didn't update the thank you page. So if people were getting on there, like the last few weeks, it said that this call or this webinar was over. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to go there and throw a whole new video on there, everything. That was my mistake. So it might have been people trying to get on there. If you are the one who have been trying to get on there and I fucked up, I'm sorry. I updated that. I'm gonna have to update it again for next week. So I'm just telling people you need to register through the Zoom page. So if Facebook don't want to act right, at least you get in the Zoom room, okay? And like I always say, Les Brown always says this. Sunday night, heart attack rate goes up, probably even more so because we're in this pandemic. If you drop dead at your damn desk, if you drop dead at your home office, wherever you're doing work at, they will replace you. Your job will be in the paper before your obituary. Ain't that some shit? With that note, I'm Greg Smith.
I'm Kent Robertson.
And we'll see you on the next video. Take care. We are out.
Stay safe, everybody.